You all know that. I've been on Social Security disability for 30 years. Bipolar, heart disease, blind now, and diabetic, type 1 diabetic. Here's my computer. Keeps me alive every day. Automatically pumps into me the insulin that I need. Oh, can you see my tummy? Dexcom monitor, and I can see here with my Dexcom monitor what my blood sugar is, so I can adjust the computer. I'm handicapped. 30 years. It really upsets me. It makes me stressful. It makes me anxious, and I'm humiliated and embarrassed in front of you. People have followed me for years. I have many followers and people who have been kind and friendly and following my videos, and they put comments down, and you know how it goes. They all thought I was resigned. I thought I was resigned too. Now I've had to reorder Valium. Yeah, I had to reorder Valium because it's so upsetting to me. I had to up my bipolar medication because the stress has gone so much higher because I learned this. Kind of like finding out your significant other has betrayed you. They have a relationship with somebody else. Hidden. No. That's sacred. It's sacred. Remember. And I called the suicide hotline. I haven't tried to commit suicide for, I don't know, it's been pretty good, 8 or 9 years. And I used to feel pretty stable and normal. Immediately, called the suicide line again. Thought, gosh, I have a good education. Maybe I ought to get some help here. So I went to my regular doctor, and he prescribed different medications, and he's helped me, gave me a letter indicating that I certainly was disabled and qualified under ADA. And then yesterday I spent an hour. First time in, 30 years that I saw a psychiatrist. I saw one once years ago when I tried to kill myself with a gas pipe tail of a car coming in a mask, laying there in bed, waiting to pass away. And my doctor took me over to a psychiatrist, and he said to me, the psychiatrist, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Well, I've tried to kill myself 5 times now, and I'm just not very good at it." He talked to me for 5 minutes. He said, "David, you're bipolar." I said, "I'm bipolar? What does that mean?" I had a 1 master's degree at that time. I didn't know what that was. Had not read the DSM-4 4 in those days, 5 revised these days. So I've learned basically that this situation I am going to record all the time, back and forth. If you're interested, look it up. I'm gonna put it Mormon lawsuit because the algorithms are set up that way. When the most popular Google search starts with the word Mormon. And so I want to put this out to as many people, not for vindictiveness, not for punishment, but to help other people learn what they're getting into when the missionaries knock on the door, and for people who resign. Your name is not off the records of the church. You and I thought it was. It's not. In the next year or two, it might take 3 or 5 years. These federal lawsuits drag on. But my name is going to be redacted off of the Mormon Church records. And the big vault up in Immigration Canyon there, that the door of the vault can withstand a nuclear blast. They hide my records in there. I'm going to make sure they take them out of the vault and out of Salt Lake City's church office building. So it's exciting. I will have an Einstein Group 3. You want to be on that? Give me a call. I'll have Monica add you to that group. And when we text the Mormon Church, we just push a button and it goes to everybody that's on the Einstein Group. You'll be Einstein 3 group. When the Mormon Church attorneys find out that they can't hide, they can be mean, they can be upset, they can be intimidating to me, but you're going to know it. They used to be able to hide that. Pro se, I can talk to you and it's legal. I can put you in an Einstein group and send to you the damn documents that I filed in the court, that they filed in the court. And you can educate yourself, do your own due diligence. And if you're interested to watch this lawsuit, Huntsman right now is suing the Mormon Church. I can't see anything. I've never seen a court document. I've never seen an email between the attorneys. They can't do it. Heavenly Father's blessed me. He said, David, tell all the world how you're being treated by the Mormon Church and prove it. Send pictures, send copies, show the briefs, show the motion. Now, let me tell you what happened to the bishop that got my patriarchal blessing. I talked to Bree there at McConkey law firm, biggest law firm. And so they have AI is saying 175 attorneys at McConkey, and they defend the Mormon Church constantly. And basically, the Mormon Church wins like 100% of things other than child abuse. And of course, when they roll over and admit to somebody, that the Boy Scout tents were full of priesthood leaders jacking off the Boy Scouts, they say, "Oh, it's confidential. We'll give you 100,000 or $1 million or whatever money, but don't tell anybody, because if they know you got $1 million, they'll come and get $1 million too." And most humans are so stupid and selfish. They go, "Well, I'd rather have the money. I'm not going to say no to confidentiality." So that's another subject. So Bree said, "David, I'll call you back in an hour. Let me find out which attorney here in the law firm wants to be the attorney of record, has experience in ADA law, and we can, maybe put something together here and see if we can help you. You're asking for what's called a reasonable accommodation. You want us to take your name off the records of the church." I said, "Yeah, that's what I want." Well, I hung up. He never called back. It's not her. She's innocent. She is innocent. She is surrounded by satanic cult, mostly men. I'm going to say 99.8% men. She's helpless. She needs to pay her bills. She has children. She has a husband. She's just doing her job. Very friendly, very kind. And she's sent over to the church. We got an asshole over here asking for a reasonable accommodation, and he has proof that he's resigned, and we did not remove his name, and a bishop got a patriarchal blessing showing we didn't take him off the records, and he has his membership number, which he should know. I think these days that you can know your number, but in our days, we didn't know we had a number. Okay, so I get an email from Bree, and she says, "David, would you please tell me the name of the bishop that got you your patriarchal blessing?" Okay. They didn't say, "Oh, we're going to try to accommodate you. Oh, we're going to follow through. We're going to find an attorney you can talk to. We're going to let you get into the technical department, see if we can get your name on." None of that. He just texted, "David, what's the name of the bishop that got your patriarchal blessing?" You guys don't know it. I do. I know where this was going. I know these people. They're ruthless, they're vicious, and they're evil. I said to Bree in a text, and it's right here, I can show it to you. I said, "Bree, number one, it has nothing to do with my request to have my name removed. Number two, absolutely 100% confidential. I'm not going to let you throw that bishop and his family under the bus, threaten him, excommunicate him, have him step down as bishop because he dealt with a resigned member of the church that you did not put on the computer. Bishops, please be aware, don't do anything for this resigned member. He got sucked in. Just being Christ-like and being kind. So I said to Bree, ain't gonna happen, girl. Only way I will ever review that, there's two ways. One is if a court orders me to do it. The other is if Jesus Christ appears to me. Hopefully he won't be. The flaming swords, I don't know if he went to the flaming storage shop or not. I don't know. But if Jesus appeared to me, he wouldn't have to have a flaming sword. He could just say, David, tell him the bishop's name. Well, I was so upset. I don't like bullies. I don't like evil. I don't like men or women that take advantage of other people. I don't like people who think they're powerful, that they're supreme beings. It took me about an hour of jumping up and down here, yelling at my poor wife, Mercy, who has to listen to this shit all the time. I said, Mercy, I'm not going to let him do it. I'm not going to let him hurt this family, the bishop's family. So I text the bishop. He and I have a good relationship, and he didn't respond. Well, maybe he's busy. I waited. A couple hours later, I text him again. No response. He's always responded right away. We have a good relationship. So I called him. Didn't answer the phone. I left a message. Didn't call back. I thought, God, did they get to him quicker than they got to me? That email is only an hour old. Were they quick enough to find out who that bishop was, and he's been instructed to block me and not have communication with me, and he is now under the bus with his innocent family, with Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, Wilford Woodruff, David O. McKay, Spencer Kimball, and Mr. Nelson and Monson, the driving the bus. They just rotate, driving the bus and running innocent people over and ruining their lives. So I called the bishop. He didn't respond. I was afraid they got to him already before I did. But he called this morning, and he said, David, I was at the temple last night. I didn't get all your messages. I said, well, thank God. Bishop, I said, I have no agenda here. I'm going to make this short here. You know me, I'm never short. And I said, Bishop, the Mormon church is going to come after you. You don't know it yet, but they're going to find out who gave me that request for the patriarchal blessing. Your name is going to come up as bishop, and you're going to get an email. You're going to get a text. You're probably going to get, the church has bishops. They have their own, communication. You may get a knock at the door, but they're going to say to you, Bishop, we need to have a little chat. We need to have a little chat. And I told him, I said, Bishop, I'm giving you a heads up. You were kind, you were polite, you were Christ-like, and now they're coming to get you. They're going to trace through their system within the next day or two who requested that patriarchal blessing. It's going to come down to your state president, and you may get a call contacted for details, and they're going to they're going to punish you. They're going to punish you. I feel bad. He didn't mean to do that, and I didn't mean to get him in trouble like that. But it was the right thing for me to do, to give him fair warning that they're coming. They're coming to get you. When I did my videos, Sir David the Bard, I got about 2,000 videos. I got maybe 4 million hits. When I was doing that show, they spray painted my car here in Bountiful, Utah. The Mormons did. Brand new car. Spray painted the outside of my car. They chased me in a parking lot over at Depot in Centerville, trying to, I don't know, get me or threaten me or whatever. And if you look at my videos, you'll see Mormons on my videos with comments, we wish your children were dead, implying that they could be dead if I keep going. And I've had death threats. They're going to get that bishop. Mark my word, they're going to get that bishop. So anyway, I'm going to end this. It's been way, way too long, but it's exciting because I have the legal standing. I have ADA protection. Usually the Mormon Church can get out of lawsuits on First Amendment. If it has anything to do with religion, they're going to win. They're going to win. The first Amendment, or the first section of the Constitution, number 1, is religious freedom. But this is different. In ADA law, has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with policies, procedures, and paperwork. Nothing to do with religion. It's a strong ADA case. They're going to have to remove my name from the records of the church. And now the implication is David is on YouTube, and all the YouTubers are looking and saying, gee, I resigned, and maybe my name is still there. I threatened them with a class action suit. And I'm not, bluffing. I can't, pro se, do a class action suit because it represents other people in the class. But I can enjoin an attorney to come with me. I can run the show, but the attorney's license is with me, can advise me, and his license is up front, and the federal court will allow me to do a class action suit. Mormon Church doesn't want that. So what I'm going to do is I have right here what the Mormon Church is going to get tomorrow. Monica will be here to be able to file this tomorrow. Here's what they're going to hear, see, and tell President Nelson. Guess what? We got cockroaches.
Listening.
Play.
Play to David Crosset. You, Anna0169@yahoo.com. Here's the revised complaint with the requested additions regarding psychiatric and psychological consultations and the impact of humiliation and embarrassment as a public figure in the United States District Court. For the district name, for example, District of Utah, David DeWing Crosset, plaintiff, P. The Corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Russell M. Nelson, Dallin H. Oaks, Henry B. Airing, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, individually named apostles, defendants. Complaint, I. Introduction, 1. This action arises under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, 42 U.S.C. Section 12101 at the following, for defendant's failure to provide reasonable accommodations to plaintiff, a qualified individual with a disability, and for the emotional, psychological, and physical harm caused by defendant's refusal to comply with federal law. 2. Plaintiff seeks injunctive relief, declaratory relief, damages, and any other relief the court deems appropriate, as a result of defendant's failure to engage in an interactive process and refusal to provide reasonable accommodations. 3. Plaintiff names the Corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as the primary defendant responsible for its policies and practices and includes the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles in their official capacities as agents of the corporation. 4. Plaintiff expressly requests that if the court determines that naming individual defendants is inappropriate, the claims against the corporation proceed independently. IV. Factual background. 10. Plaintiff resigned from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS Church, on insert date, requesting that his name and all associated records be removed from church databases. 11. Plaintiff was assured by defendants that upon resignation, all records related to his membership would be expunged. 12. Despite resigning twice, plaintiff's records have not been removed. 13. The failure to remove plaintiff's records has caused him severe humiliation, embarrassment, and emotional distress, particularly as a public figure on YouTube with over 2,000 videos and millions of viewers. 14. Plaintiff has publicly stated to his audience that he is no longer affiliated with the church, believing his name and records have been expunged. 15. Upon discovering that his records were not removed, plaintiff experienced extreme embarrassment and humiliation, further exacerbating his disabilities. This public contradiction has caused intense stress, emotional harm, and significant damage to plaintiff's credibility as a public figure. 16. As a result, plaintiff's stress levels have dramatically increased, requiring additional psychiatric and psychological consultations to address the humiliation, emotional turmoil, and worsening symptoms of his disabilities. 17. Plaintiff has been required to increase his psychiatric medications and has experienced episodes of suicidal ideation, directly linked to the emotional harm caused by defendant's actions. 18. Plaintiff has repeatedly requested a reasonable accommodation under the ADA to address this harm, asking defendants to remove all records of his membership. 19. Defendants failed to engage in the interactive process or provide any substantive response to plaintiff's reasonable accommodation request. 20. Plaintiff asserts that the failure to accommodate his request is unrelated to church doctrine, belief systems, or religious rites. Instead, it pertains solely to administrative policies and procedures, which fall outside the protections of the First Amendment. 6. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests that this court 1. Issue a declaratory judgment that defendants violated the ADA by failing to provide reasonable accommodation. 2. Grant injunctive relief requiring defendants to remove all records related to plaintiff's membership. 3. Award compensatory damages for plaintiff's emotional and psychological harm, including the cost of psychiatric and psychological consultations, increased medication, and mental health treatments necessitated by defendant's actions. 4. Award damages for humiliation, embarrassment, and stress caused by defendant's failure to accommodate plaintiff's reasonable request, particularly in light of his public figure status. 5. Award attorney's fees and costs, if applicable. 6. Grant any other relief the court deems just and proper. Respectfully submitted, David DeWing Crosset, Plaintiff, Pro Se. Contact information. This version now incorporates the additional elements of public embarrassment, your status as a public figure, and the impact on your mental health through consultations and medications. It emphasizes the severity of the harm caused by the church's refusal to honor your request. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to adjust or
There
refine.
she is.
Sent from Yahoo Mail for iPhone. End of email. Listening.
Stop.
Stop.
Okay, that's not the final complaint. It takes a lot of hours to put together a complaint, but that's the root of the complaint. When I finally file it, I'll have a case number. I'll give you that case number. Then you can go right to what we call the PACER system of the federal court in Salt Lake City. You can put in my name, my case number. You can pull up exactly what the Mormon Church has filed, what I filed. So that's number one, the root of the complaint. It'll be more standard. It'll be, it'll be better. But that's the beginning of it. Now, there's another letter here that I have. I hope it's right here.
Listening.
Next.
Next. Unread email from David Crosset. 2 hours ago. Formal ADA request for complete removal of membership records. Listening.
Play.
Play. To you. David Crosset. David Crosset. Here's the revised and finalized letter with the requested changes. David DeWing Crosset. 650 South Main Street. Number 6303. Bountiful. Utah 84010. Phone. 385-424-7024. 385-215-0113. Email. davidx44@yahoo.com. cockroachdisability@yahoo.com. Date. President Dallin H. Oaks. President Henry B. Airing. Elder Jeffrey R. Holland. Elder Dieter F. Uchtdorf. Elder David A. Bednar. Elder Quentin L. Cook. Elder D. Todd Christofferson. Elder Neil L. Anderson. Elder Ronald A. Brass Band, Elder Gary E. Stevenson, Elder Dale G. Ringland, Elder Garrett W. Gong, Elder Ulysses Suarez, Elder Patrick Kieran, the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, 50 East North Temple Street, Salt Lake City, Utah 84150. Dear First Presidency and 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I am writing to formally demand the immediate and complete removal of my name and all associated records from the membership rolls and archives of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This request is being made under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, 42 U.S.C. Section 12101 at the following, as a reasonable accommodation for the severe emotional distress, high anxiety, and other disabilities I am experiencing as a direct result of your failure to honor my resignations and remove my records. I have resigned from the church twice. After my initial resignation, I later rejoined the church, only to discover that my original membership number and patriarchal blessing were still intact, showing that you did not honor my first resignation. Years later, I resigned a second time, believing that this time my records would be fully removed. However, I learned through a bishop that my membership number and other records still existed, and I subsequently received my original patriarchal blessing in the mail. This demonstrates a repeated and systemic failure by the church to fulfill its promises and legal obligations regarding membership resignations. Your ongoing retention of my personal information is not only deceptive but has caused me significant emotional harm. As a person protected under the ADA, I have been forced to seek additional psychiatric care, increase my medication, and endure high levels of stress and anxiety stemming from the belief that my name had been removed when it was not. Your actions have directly impacted my mental health and well-being, and I am requesting a reasonable accommodation under the ADA to mitigate further harm by removing my name and all associated records immediately. Specifically, I am requesting 1. The permanent removal of my name, membership number, and all associated records from your archives. 2. Written confirmation that this action has been completed. You must act on this request promptly and no later than 30 days from the date of this letter. If you fail to comply, I will pursue legal action, including hiring co-counsel to explore a potential class action lawsuit. I believe this issue impacts countless individuals who have resigned from the church and yet remain on your rolls, further compounding the harm caused by your inaction. Please be aware that I will also include you as individuals in such legal action, as agents of the corporation, under ADA law. Please take this matter seriously. Resolving this issue now, without further escalation, would not only comply with legal requirements but also demonstrate good faith on the part of the church. I look forward to your immediate confirmation that my records have been removed. Sincerely, David DeWing Crosset. Phone 385-424-7024. 385-215-0113. Email davidx44@yahoo.com. cockroachdisability@yahoo.com. P.S. Please see Salt Lake City District Court PACER records concerning plaintiff's history. This letter now includes all the requested elements.
Okay, that's the other one they're going to get here in the next 24 hours. I'm ready. I'm hoping. Stop. I'm going to end this video. It's the longest video that I've ever done, but it's probably one of the most important ones. I have been sent to the earth with a particular mission to perform. That's what the patriarch of the Mormon church said to me when I was 12 years old in Ventura, California, in the Santa Barbara LDS state. I'm going to follow through. I know now about the great and abominable church. When I was a child growing up in Mormonism, that was the Catholics. They're the great and abominable church. Now, I know today who the great and abominable church is. Have a good day.